The 2025 F1 season is almost here, guys. Whether you're new to the sport or have been a fan for a long time, you might be wondering which team and driver you should support this year, especially with all the big changes on the grid and a lot of new drivers joining in. Picking a driver or team in F1 is pretty difficult since they're all unique in their own ways. But sometimes you just see a driver do something completely off the dome and you feel a personal connection. You immediately relate to them and become a die-hard fan. That's what got me hooked. But this video isn't about me. It's about helping you find the driver and team that match your personality and style. Here's how it's going to go. First, we'll discuss the teams, and then I'll give you a basic idea of their drivers, their style, and their personalities, whatever you want to call it. This isn't going to be like my usual videos, where we discuss topics in a more serious manner. Also, no offense to anyone, these are just jokes. So without wasting any more time, let's just jump into it. Starting with the reigning Constructors' Champions, McLaren. This is a team with a rich history in Formula One, producing legendary world champions like Lauda, Senna, Prost, Hakkinen, and Hamilton. And even though the founder was a Kiwi, the team is quintessentially British, having been established in a rather grim place called Surrey. So if you're from New Zealand, you can't take any pride in that anymore. It's been too long, guys. And it gets even funnier when you realize that the current McLaren CEO is an American. Isn't that just wonderful? Since last year, the team has been on a serious upward trajectory and looks like the one to beat this season. Their car was the quickest in most races last year, and if not for a certain Dutch driver, they would have won the Drivers' Championship as well. They are still getting used to being front runners, as we saw quite a few strategy f***ups from them last season. Now let's talk about the drivers. They've got the Brit Lando Norris and the Aussie Oscar Piastri. Even though the team claims there's no number one and number two, Lando Norris is the de facto number one, leading the team's points tally and finishing runner-up in the championship last season. The two McLaren drivers are complete opposites. While Lando is fun and cocky,
cheers, that's champagne.
Oh, okay. Oh. Ouch, ouch.
I didn't sweat.
Oscar is more reserved and sarcastic.
Yep, champion.
Both are great drivers though. Lando is more experienced, having joined F1 in 2019, while Oscar debuted in 2023. But despite the lack of experience, Oscar has been nothing short of phenomenal so far. One thing I like about the McLaren drivers, they don't whine or complain on the radio. So if you prefer someone who's calm but blisteringly quick on track, then Oscar is the driver for you. And if you prefer someone with British humour, a more meme-friendly, Gen Z relatable personality,
everyone calls me Lando Norris,
who doesn't shy away from a fight on track, then there's no one quite like Lando Norris. Next up, we have the Scarlet Ferraris. I mean, do they even need an introduction? If you have even 1% Italian ancestry, it's basically a crime not to support them. They are like Formula One royalty. Their team principal is a very chill French guy named Fred Vasseur, and they currently have the most star-studded driver lineup on the grid. They've got the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton and the brilliant Charles Leclerc.
Leclerc! Leclerc! Leclerc!
If you're new to F1, chances are you're going to fall for this team immediately. However, there is one small catch. Ferrari hasn't won a championship in 17 years. No! There's always something that ruins their party. But that could change in 2025. The current Ferrari lineup is a once-in-a-lifetime pairing and arguably the strongest lineup on the grid right now. Lewis is the most successful F1 driver of all time with over 100 wins and pole positions. He races cleanly, is an expert at winning championships, and is hands down the most fashionable driver in the paddock. Lewis just has that X factor about him. He is quite active on social media and has the most followers among F1 drivers. Lewis is not usually involved in drama or scuffles on track, thanks to his incredibly clean racing. He's a bit on the older side though, as he just crossed the 40-year mark. Honestly, it's impossible to hate this guy. I mean, he's just pure class. Coming to his teammate Charles, it's the same story. Charles is one of the nicest guys on the grid. He's also a clean racer and could have been a world champion if he wasn't driving for Ferrari.
I am stupid. I am stupid.
He's one of the best looking drivers on the grid and is the celebrity crush of much of the female F1 audience.
Charles Leclerc, if he showed me, I'd say thank you.
Oh, and he plays the piano and has even released some music. Both Ferrari drivers are also dog parents, so expect some adorable dog content this season. I don't know what else to say about these guys. They're just way too nice from what I've seen. So if you're into nice guys, you can't go wrong with the Ferrari boys. Now we come to the bad boys of the paddock, Red Bull Racing. If you look closely, this is the team the media often portrays as the villains of F1. The team principal, Christian Horner, is a big fan of Cocoa Pops, if you get my gist. I mean, look, the guy is sharp and funny, not gonna lie.
In fact, managing donkeys is sometimes easier than managing drivers.
You've got a problem, change your
Joining him is the advisor Helmut Marko, who, let's just say, is like your typical German grandpa from the Second World War. He likes to drop wisdom with a very questionable choice of words from time to time. Red Bull is without a doubt the most fun team, but they're also ruthless and efficient. I don't think they really care about the Constructors' title. Their focus is the Drivers' Championship, because that's where the prestige lies, and they'll do anything to win it.
Die funktionieren im Moment nicht. That's harassment.
Now let's talk about their driver lineup, because it's real spicy this season. First, we have the four-time world champion Max Verstappen. I mean, what do I even say? The guy is an absolute killer on track. He's won the last 4 championships in a row, and no one has come close. Give him a half-decent car, and he'll most likely take the title. He's the hottest property in F1 right now, and rumor has it that Aston Martin offered the big bucks to sign him. Max is a no-nonsense driver. You mess with him, and he'll put your head through a wall. He's a direct, no BS, ultra-aggressive racer. He's not the cleanest on track, so you need a lot of confidence to go wheel to wheel with him. And whatever you do, don't try to overtake him on the outside. He'll send you straight to the shadow realm. Also, he's about to become a father this year, though I doubt that'll soften his ruthless domination. So if you're a cat person, passionate about hard racing, and love winning at any cost, this is your guy. And partnering him this season is the Kiwi Liam Lawson, giving New Zealanders something to cheer about. This will be Liam's first full season in F1. He's had a few races in the past, but has been a bit up and down. He's a big fan of cars and loves everything Lightning McQueen related. Personality-wise, he's a tough cookie with perfect hair. He doesn't back down from a fight and has already made a few enemies on track. Let's see what he can do in a Red Bull. So if you're one of those people who feel sorry for Max's teammates, then Liam is your guy. Next up, we have Mercedes, the German team led by an Austrian guy. I mean, that's always fun, right? Before the current regulations, Mercedes dominated F1 like never before, but since 2022, they've lost that edge. They still pick up wins here and there, but they haven't truly been in the title fight. Team-wise, well, they're Germans, so a bit on the boring side. Heck, they don't even allow their reserve drivers to do naked photo shoots. Come on, Toto, don't do this to Valtteri. Toto loves his bread though. Sorry, what's it called?
It's pumpernickel.
When it comes to the Mercedes drivers, I don't know. The lineup feels a bit dry. First up, we have Woody from Toy Story. Sorry, I mean George Russell from King's Lynn. He's been called two-faced and a dickhead by Max Verstappen and was allegedly bullied brutally.
And someone needs to stand up to a bully like this.
He also whines a lot on the radio.
Nothing I could do, he just turned into me. He just cut across me.
Quite nice. He's defended like it's a race of his life. Crikey.
He's a good driver though.
Still pushing the win. Russell's off. George Russell into the wall.
Personality-wise, George gives off the vibe of a hate baby between Russell Brand and Ellen DeGeneres, though maybe that's a bit harsh. Well, if you were the type of kid who reminded the teacher about homework, then George is the driver for you. Then there's Kimi Antonelli, an 18-year-old Italian rookie hyped as the next Max Verstappen. You know, I have a feeling that if he doesn't impress, Toto Wolff will snap in half, just like his pumpernickel. I don't know Kimi personality-wise, but he seems like the quiet, shy type, like every other 18-year-old these days. So, if you're Italian, this is probably your next big superstar. God, I miss the Italian Jesus, though. Next up, we have the Poacher Mafia, aka Aston Martin. It's a team with all the money and resources at their disposal, yet they still fail to build a decent car. They went from having the second best car for most of the 2023 season to an absolute tractor in 2024. Recently, they replaced their team principal, swapping Mike Crack for Andy Cowell, the guy they poached from Mercedes. And now, they've snatched Adrian Newey from Red Bull. We all know Newey cooks hard, so maybe they'll finally be competitive this year. Like British food, the team overall is a bit bland. Honestly, I don't even remember if they competed in 2024, and I watched all the races. Now let's talk about their drivers. First up is Lance Stroll, son of team owner Lawrence Stroll. Now, what do I say about Lance? Is he a great driver? Never mind. I mean, his driving skills are a bit on the sketchy side. He's the kind of guy participation awards were invented for. That said, he is pretty funny on the radio.
Can you give me the wind direction?
Wind at the moment is non-existent.
Okay, can you bring it back, Lance?
No, the wall.
Lando, I will not attack.
A bit cringe?
We got a high five here.
Maybe, but who isn't? Personality-wise, well, firstly, he's Canadian, so there's that. I have no idea what his endgame is, as he seems kind of lost sometimes. But off the track, he actually seems like a pretty cool guy, so if you're Canadian, I feel sorry for you guys, but keep supporting Lance, he needs it. Then we have his teammate, Fernando Alonso, who is one of the greatest drivers of all time. Even at 43, Fernando still knows how to kick ass on track. He's also a 2-time world champion. Personality-wise, he's chill, delivers results, doesn't complain,
Worst car ever and worst traffic preparation ever.
makes absolute Sigma TikToks, and thinks about the Roman Empire 3 times a day. Oh, and he's got some killer dance moves too. He's also the oldest driver on the grid, so if you're into older guys, Fernando is the one to root for. And that's it for this video, guys. I only covered the top 5 teams in this video because it was getting too long and I wasn't sure if you guys would like it. So if you enjoyed it, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a part 2, and I'll see you guys in the next video.